Everybody, welcome in to Bayou Time. This is Going Public. I am Harry McCullough. We're joined by Mike Toops and Clay Knockow. Mike, you're the parish manager, and Clay, you're the director of solid, hazardous, and recycling waste. So a couple of key things we need to talk about first of all, and a lot of stuff going on. So Mike, let's start off with what the parish is doing with the roads, ditches, everything, and that all kind of goes hand in hand with that. But give us an update on what's going on.
Yeah, Harry. David Rome, our public works director, was supposed to be here today, and he couldn't make it because of a family emergency. So he asked me to fill in for him. But basically, the key points that President Dove would like to let everybody know is that we're continuing to haul 610 limestone to the Island Road. We're putting it on the north side where it got washed out because of the storm. As you know, there are large boulders on the south side that I think we put them to an 8-foot elevation, but that should be finished today or tomorrow. We're restabilizing the shoulders and bringing it back to the original width. I'd like to also let everybody know that we have 4 grade alls that's going throughout the parish. We're cleaning all the ditches, the debris, and we have two grade alls that's in the shop. Hopefully they'll be repaired by the end of the week, so we'll have 6 of them hopefully next week cleaning everything out. Gravity Drainage has 2 vacuum trucks that are going throughout the parish. They're cleaning out all of the catch basins, all of the culverts, and we also have a 3rd vacuum truck from our maintenance contractor, Norris and Boudreaux, that's going through and cleaning out all of the debris from the hurricane. And as you know, that was a tremendous amount of debris from the hurricane, and we're trying to catch up, clean everything, in addition to taking care of all of the calls we get from all of our constituents, all of our councilmen, and we're doing the best we can. Our Public Works Department is doing a phenomenal job.
Sure. Hey, when you're talking about gravity drainage, right? So you get roofs, you get tin, you get houses, everything goes down. It all goes with the water into the gravity drainage, right? So was that a big cluster, a big part of it to get that clean? Oh,
yeah. And as you know, even though we had our Hurricane Ida that came and went 2.5 months ago, the rains doesn't stop.
Right.
And so it's a continuing problem. And even for an example, when Clay's people go and clean the debris on the curbs, we try to get as much of the debris as possible, but our grapple trucks can't pick up the small items.
Right.
So if people could help and pick up the small items after our grapple trucks come through and pick up the major piles of debris in front of their homes and their lots, it would help in the future from letting that trash go into the ditches,
right.
And sooner or later it'll cause another problem for them.
Right. Any wind that comes through, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of a stickler for watching litter. It drives me nuts, right? And you see people put stuff in the truck and it flies out. But since the storm, it's like it's just debris everywhere, and it's hard to do anything like that because just wind's going to go take it wherever it's going to go. So I imagine that's a big issue. So
it is. And then a couple of more things. Our Roads and Bridges Department are working on replacing all of the street signs that were blown away from the hurricane. We ordered 300 stop signs, and we've installed about 150 of them. We got about half left to go, and we lost over 3,000 street signs. It's hard to imagine, but
Yes.
We have over 3,000, and every street sign, of course, along the street
Right.
is a different name, and we're about 50% on that project. So we've been going out replacing street signs, and then the last thing is I want to let everybody know that We have all of our traffic lights that the parish operates on parish roads. They're up and operating as they normally would.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you about, lights and traffic lights and regular lights. I went down to Chauvin the other night. It was dark, but I hadn't been down there in the dark lately, and I was unfamiliar. It's different now, right?
Yeah, and one thing also, you got to remember that we're in charge of traffic lights on parish roads.
Right, not state highways.
And yeah, the LA DOTD is responsible for any street lights on state highways.
Is there any issues any hot spots that are problems? Areas?
Not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, everything as far as traffic lights are up and running.
Yeah, no, it all looks good. As far as I hadn't seen any, I don't know if y'all know of any. But which brings us over to you, Clay, and we're talking about some of this stuff that gets knocked into the bayous or trash pickup. So give us the latest update when you're in.
Well, we are started on our third round of pass of debris pickup. We started on the north end of the parish and we headed south. We expect it to be finished or pretty much finished by Thanksgiving holidays. We're hoping that during the Thanksgiving holidays we'll get a lot more put out, and then we'll do another big push after between Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays to get everything off the road. One of the key things right now to remember is that if you live on a state road, the state DOT is responsible for the debris cleanup on state roads. We can't go in. FEMA won't pay us for it because of duplication of funding. So the state takes care of state roads and the parish takes care of all the parish right-of-ways. Pretty much everything's been picked up. We got people that's putting stuff out every day. We ask them to call our office, our office number is out, but our temporary number is 985-226-4060, or use the internet. Our internet's slow, so we get that's out too. I mean, we was victims of the storm. Yeah. Our phone lines are still out. Actually, we don't have phone lines. They disappeared. We're waiting for the phone companies to reinstall it and all. So, we're moving forward with that. We're doing a Bayou Cleanup. We finished Bayou Large from all the way up to St. Eloi Bridge. We want to come back and finish further north of that later, but we wanted to get the navigable part clean. Right now, we have all our concentration on in Locaia, Cocodrie area, getting those bayous cleaned. That was a really heavy debris fill in the bayou. So we have special barges. We have 6 or 7 barges working, picking that stuff up, bringing it to the Highway 56 side. I mean, you got to imagine whole camps just sitting in the bayou.
That's amazing.
We got campers. We got box trucks. We got tombs. We
boats,
got
I'm sure,
boats. Yeah.
That was amazing when we were talking about that. I was thinking, a couple of roofs and that kind of stuff, but you were talking about whole camps that are in the water.
We actually have one by the plastic oil locks that we had to emergency get out because it was floating toward the lock system, would have damaged it. So I think we have identified, we still have 4 whole camps. Well, it might not be 4 right now because we've been chipping away at all of them, right. But we having to get all that out and making sure that none of the hazardous waste get out in the water, none of that stuff floats away, having to dodge the fishermen, the trollers and
sure.
all, but getting it done.
Does that, I know with the Home of Nav, the Corps of Engineers was in charge of that. Is that correct. The same way in bayous?
No, the Corps of Engineers and the Coast Guard came in, they identified their hot points and took care of theirs. We're handling the bayous like that go down each bayou, like Bayou Chauvin, Bayou Grand Caillou, and stuff like that. Eventually, we're going to be headed north in Bayou Terrebonne, getting those trees and all out of there. Right now, we're trying to concentrate on the navigable waterways.
Right. There's no boats coming down north.
Right.
North by Terrebonne anytime
right.
soon. So I'd love to see it. That would be good too. And you're talking about recycling too as well, right?
Yeah, we started our community recycling program again. We got most of the bins out. The St. Charles location We'll be moving to a new location by the tennis courts, and as soon as we get the lights up over there. But the biggest thing with the recycling, that we was kind of hesitant to put it out, is starting to come true. Right on my way here, I got a email from a resident showing people putting microwaves, putting stuff that's not supposed to be in there. And we get a lot of that stuff in there, all the ones who really concerned about recycling is wasted, because we have to throw all that away because we can't send that to the recycling place.
Those places, I know there's one by the Civic Center, and you said one on St. Charles?
We will have the one on St. Charles at Concord has been moved. They're getting ready, they're doing some major construction there and adding some stuff in that parking lot. So we're moving it to the tennis courts off of South Down West. But we have to put the lights, the lights so that people can use it, because a lot of people use it at night. The Bicane, the mall, Berg, and Locaia is all back up at their locations, and we just ask people to be, if you got to question yourself, is this recyclable? Put it in your regular garbage. Don't put it in the recycle. If you question yourself, it's probably not supposed to be in there.
It's one of those, I was driving back yesterday. The water's down low, and it was actually on Airline Highway coming back from Baton Rouge. But the water was so low, I could see there was like a tire every 50 feet. It was like, come on, y'all. We were better than this, right? So I know what y'all dealing with. So, hey, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the infrastructure and possible infrastructure bill. We'll do that next, right here on Going Public.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
Pelican Waste and Debris is your local company. We don't just work here, we live here and understand the unique challenges that face our region. Our commitment to our community and customers and love for Louisiana keeps us motivated. Pelican meets every residential and commercial service need, offering roll-off, front-load, and compactor services, ideal for hotels, restaurants, apartments, construction or industrial sites, and much more. We also make recycling simple and cost-efficient, offering single-stream recycling program options. We have set the highest standards for environmental protection, community engagement, and guaranteed client satisfaction. Visit pelicanwaste.net or call us at 985-873-9553 to save money with hassle-free service. Our team has over 100 years of experience, so we know how to make you happy. The sky is the limit, so fly with the Pelican.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
All right, everybody, welcome into Bayou Time. This is Going Public. I'm Harry McCullough. We have Mike Toops, of course, the parish manager, as well as Clay Nakan, who's in charge of most of the debris and solid waste and hazardous and recycling waste. So thank you guys for being with us. We were just talking a little bit during the break about the infrastructure bill. I know that President Biden has just signed that. It's a couple of trillion, $1.2 trillion. You don't know what's going to be involved with that yet, huh?
No, Harry. I don't think the state knows what percentage they're gonna get, and then from that, I don't know if we got any indication of what percentage of what the state gets that Terrebonne Parish would get.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, we were just talking about phone lines and all those kind of things that sure could help out if we all got internet and we got fast stuff. That would be great. So I guess that'll be the scene. Mitch Landry, you got his phone number by any chance?
I wish. I know we're submitting our 2022 budget to the council now, and
Put your finger on that one a little bit, right?
yeah,
Make it a little heavier.
The budget doesn't include any of the infrastructure money, but it would be nice to get that little bonus so that we could.
No, look, whatever side of the aisle you're on, infrastructure needs to be, funded, and it certainly could help out a lot if it goes in the right direction. So we'll see there. Let's talk a little bit about assistance for folks that maybe couldn't afford to clean up, right? So y'all got a program that's coming on.
The parish recognizes that there are residents out there that cannot afford to demo their home or clean their property. So we are putting together a program that will allow a resident to apply. We're going to be setting up we're going to do a news release in the next couple of days with the phone numbers and everything for people to call in. Each resident is pretty much a case file. We got to go into it. We got to, once they apply, we got to make sure that that person who's applying is the person that can request it. We have to make sure that there's not a dual funding for his insurance or another FEMA program they applied for. Then once we get all that stuff and then we get the necessary permits and it's approved, then we would turn it over to our demolition company and they would go in there and demolition the property and get it all off. And but we have to. It's not an overnight program. It's going to take some time to get this. Not everybody that applies is going to be granted it because for us, when we say okay, we are almost 100% sure that FEMA is going to reimburse us for it. Right. So that's why we have to go through all this for FEMA reimbursement. And then eventually the ones who leave their property like that is going to have to go to condemnation and the parish and all that through the condemnation to get it removed.
I know New Orleans had a big issue with that, right? People left their houses. They were blighted houses. So you had other people trying to rebuild. You had some people who had blighted houses. That got to be a real problem that people weren't cleaning up their spot. And then you had rats or grass or whatever. Is there something in place that doesn't happen here?
Well, that's why we started this program to get for assistance. We want to, if you can't afford it, we want to help you get your property, get it clean, get all the debris off, get the debris out of the house out or whatever may be on the property. After that, then we are going after the other ones that don't want to get. And you got it's a family house. They don't want it
sure.
and stuff like that. So we're trying to prevent that from happening in that case.
Right. We don't have a road home program. We don't have that kind of stuff. So it's a little different deal. But yes, right. You could see if you were next door to somebody like that, it would be a bummer for property values and all like that. Do you guys have contractors doing damage assessment? We had talked to Archie Chasson. He said almost the entire parish. You got to do almost every house that's going to be. So you're going to send out those assessments.
That's already been done. The planning department
for the whole state. I mean, for the whole parish.
Yeah, they were supposed to be 100% complete this week.
Wow.
Chris Pulaski's office and the planning department went out, did that. So we know the houses that are damaged beyond repair.
Oh yeah, but I'm just talking about regular damage assessment.
Yeah,
that's got to be. We almost got to be 90% of damage. People have damages, huh?
That's the report Chris gave us that they should be finished this week with 100% of the damage assessment.
Wow, no, it's incredible that think of how many houses, from obviously from Lower Parish to the northern parts.
Correct.
I mean, God, that's got to be a lot of houses. But that goes into where you get reimbursements from FEMA and all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, so real interesting there. Hey, Mike, tell me a little bit about the trailers. You can give us an update on what's happening with the trailers?
Yeah, Harry. The trailers are going out and much slower than President Dove or any of the councilmen would like to see. We've talked about it numerous times at council meetings. Tomorrow night we're having a council meeting. It's at the school board office on Stadium Drive. The public's welcome to attend. The temporary travel trailers are being handled by GOSEP, and GOSEP in turn has contracted an engineering firm called Aptum to administer this program. As of this date, we've deployed 316 of them, but we only have 186 occupied. So what that means is that energy has to come and
Power poles.
hook up the electricity. And then Aptum has, when they deliver the trailers, they're supposed to be hooking up the water and the sewage. And it's taken an a long amount of time. So tomorrow night, we've asked for representatives of both Entergy and Aptum to be at the council meeting. And I'm sure the councilmen are gonna have a field day if they do show up.
So you said 300. How many of y'all handle?
316 have been deployed,
And
and
186?
186 are actually people living in them.
Which, not horrible, but yeah, we're almost 3 months later. And how many applied?
I think
Any
we've had
clue?
like 3,000 applicants, both for the temporary travel trailers through GOSEP and also the permanent travel trailers through FEMA. Now, people can go to the Civic Center. There are both representatives from Aptum and FEMA there. They can make their applications with a face-to-face person that can help them through the application process. Or they can call our office at Government Towers, and we can give them the numbers to make an appointment with those people.
Yeah, a lot of times it is power. So if their house is unlivable and they shut off the power, they then have to have a power pole to be able to repower that trailer. So that's right. You can give them a trailer, but if energy doesn't hook up the power, so it's one thing after the other. Although they said this one's doing a little better than what Hurricane Laura was doing in Lake Charles. So they said it was like 6 months for that one. So.
Yeah, we get hundreds of phone calls every day up on the 7th floor. And of course, all the councilmen get phone calls from all of their constituents. And we're the ones that have to answer to them. And it's heartbreaking sometimes to hear some of the stories from some of these people that are living in tents, they're living in their vehicles, because they don't want to leave their property. They don't want to leave their property with the chance of getting it vandalized or getting the little valuables they have left stolen because they're not there to keep an eye on it.
Sure. No, it's a real issue. Obviously, it's real nice. They set up those big tents, I guess in Montague and Chauvin, and there was three sections. Dulac, I think, was the other one. Real nice, but it's hard to live there and take care of your property as well.
Yeah. Again, the tents are about 50% occupied. It's strictly volunteer, but we also are feeding people there, and we do not turn anybody away. So anybody, we serve 3 meals a day at each one of the tents. So if anybody happens to be living off-site, not in the tents, please, we want them to know that they can go get breakfast, dinner, or lunch. They will not be turned away. We will feed them.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful program. And like I said, the assistants, we were talking to a couple of girls that came out from the crew of Aphrodites, and they were collecting things, and they were saying tractor trailers. Just around the country, everybody's trying to help out. It's just trying to organize everything. And then, like I say, when you got a FEMA involved, where you have to have flood insurance or you have to have power, those things take time, right? So.
Yeah, but Harry, we're Cajuns and we're proud people, and I've seen more people do for themselves rather than ask for help.
Sure.
But if you do ask for help, there's people waiting in line to help, and it's amazing to see how much cooperation and help we've got from within our community, and people coming in from all different parts of the state, and even people come from out of state offering to cook and feed people, bringing in supplies, cleaning supplies, diapers for kids, you name it. We have our food banks that are helping out, but it's really been amazing to see what we can do when we all work together.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree for sure. Clay, we have about 30 seconds left. Every day, we're going to continue to do picking up debris, right? Because every day somebody like, now I got my insurance check, now I can take out the sheetrock and go put it on the sideway.
We will keep the contractors in place until I feel that the parish trucks can handle the debris. So if it's into next year, March, April, May, June, whatever it may be, there we will have contractors available until I feel that we can handle it in-house.
I got you. All right. Well, Clay Nakaya, Mike Toops, thank you guys for coming by. We appreciate a lot of good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's Going Public. We'll be back with more Bayou Time after this.